and has performed as many as 200 live concerts in a year. Barbara met Ken Dudney when she was 14 years old, and he was the drummer in her father's band. They were married 2 weeks before she graduated from high school. They have 3 children. The youngest, Nathan, was born while she was still recovering from her accident. The family home in Nashville is a huge estate, complete with a helicopter pad. The inside of the main house could easily be mistaken for a luxury hotel and demonstrates clearly the rewards of a long and successful career. Barbara Ann Mandrell was born in Houston, Texas, where her father had once been a policeman. She learned to read music when she was 5, and way before she reached her teens, she knew how to steal the spotlight and win audiences.
Here's Barbara Mandrell.
What was it like playing in Vegas? How old were you?
11.
11 years old, and you're on stage in Vegas.
Yeah. That was my first, what I call professional job, because I got paid.
When you were growing up, Barbara, did you have visions of becoming a country artist and becoming a famous singer?
No. I was so satisfied with what I was doing. I had marvelous opportunities, and I just got lucky just because I was, you know how they say animal acts and kid acts, and I was a kid. There wasn't a lot of little girl steel players and, you know, and singers and saxophone players.
Reading about your childhood, what you were doing and what was happening to you and your parents and your sisters, it seemed like you had the perfect life. Was it really like that?
My parents are the magic of and the goodness of our growing up and our childhood and our lives now, because we are what they made us. I would feel that I'm a very good mother and a successful mother if, with my 3 children, if my 3 children, when it's all said and done and they're all grown and on their own, if they, I don't mean it figuratively, I mean it literally, if they would love me half as much and respect me half as much as I love and respect my parents.
Perhaps the most famous, make it infamous date in your life was September 11th, 1984, when you were riding in a car and there was a collision and you were almost killed. And your children were hurt very seriously. It was a real turning point in your life, wasn't it?
It took almost 3 years for my brain to heal. Yes, I came back to work 18 months later, but I was still so totally different from what I am now. I'm a kicking, energetic person, you know, and I don't settle for less than what pleases me, and I like to come off stage drenching wet and huffing and puffing and tired, and that, you know, that good tired. Then I'm satisfied, and I wasn't when I first came back. I was settling for things that had never been acceptable to me. To simply stand at the microphone and sing my latest hit record, that's not me.
When you were in the hospital, I was reading that you were in so much pain that the sweet, charming Barbara Mandrell was actually swearing at the physicians. You must have really been...
Yes, but that's normal. Even preachers, they say, cuss like crazy with a head injury. My husband, Ken, is the one that I took it all out on. But there again, the neurosurgeon said, that is normal. You know the wonderful old song, we always hurt the ones we love?
How old were your sisters through that whole thing?
It was devastating to them. I remember with Louise one night, she came over and laid in the bed with me and began to tell me how down she was over how I was acting, I'm trying to remember some of the things. You're not any fun anymore. You're not any fun to be with. You're not happy. And I said, Louise, I'm hurting. Earlene said that she didn't think, she now knows something could happen to her because it happened to me. And she said, I never thought anything could happen to you.
Nathan was born not too long after the accident.
The accident, was September 11th, and in December, Ken and I were finally back together as husband and wife. Later that evening, I told him that when I got home, I needed to go back and see Newt Lovern, my doctor, and make sure that I would not have a child because I was really suffering, and I knew I certainly could not handle a baby. And so when we got back, I went to see about the tailbone with my neurosurgeon, and he x-rayed my tailbone, and then that's when Newt told me I either had a tumor or a baby, and I had both. So, yeah, I was full of fibroid tumors. And for a while, for a long while, one of the tumors was bigger than the baby for a long while, but then... So, see, God knows when we can have, and if Nathaniel had not happened when he happened, it would have never been, because of all the fibroid tumors and things, you know.
When you found out you were pregnant so close, so soon after the crash, were you excited or were you scared?
Both feelings. I mean, I was on muscle relaxers and painkillers, and I couldn't walk. I'm on crutches. I'm the cast and then the rod in the leg, and my brain was, I was this weird person. It was the only time we've ever videotaped the baby being born, and I have cesarean section. And I remember when I did watch the videotape of Newt Lovern's voice, just hearing this, I could hear that he was really relieved when Nathaniel was perfectly formed. And I'm sorry. And I'm so grateful. He's so perfect and smart, and I thank God, you know.
You've been quoted as saying you're not as optimistic now as the Barbara Mandrell before that car accident. You still feel that way?
I used to only know it like as a figure of speech, but I'm not promised tomorrow. That's a fact.
Finish this sentence for me. Barbara Mandrell is a woman who
Is very fortunate. I have my faith and my relationship with him. I have my family. I have my health. And I don't hurt all the time now. I'm grateful. I'm very fortunate.